Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick demo, and I want to keep this as short as possible because I know, if the video gets too long, then people kind of become disinterested. So, I want to provide you with a demo of CoinStack. So, my idea with CoinStack was to help people save, but not just your typical savings app. It was more in the sense of adding some gamification. As you can see here at the top, you have your score streaks, you have points. And the reason for this is I wanted to introduce some psychology, uh, primarily cognitive behavioral therapy, in order to help people save. There is still a lot of work that needs to be done regarding the cognitive behavioral therapy, as I'm not a psychologist, neither am I someone that works in the financing area. So even in the financing area, there will be some work that needs to be done. But this is an early release, beta, if you will, um, and I want people to be able to start using it, give feedback, give suggestions, whatever the case is. So let me walk you through it. So this is your dashboard here. You will see your monthly budget. It's in a nice donut chart. The default value of your income is 5,000. So this is your budget that is remaining. Then you have your daily spending. Currently, I have nothing logged in the database. Then there's a monthly trend. So this is going to show, from your income, you can see, okay, at which point did you spend the most? And then I also added predictive cash flow. Now, the predictive cash flow, the algorithm, or let's call it algorithm I used, it's something very basic, so it might not be very accurate. And there's a section where you can see your recent transactions and your recent score activity. Now we're moving over to buckets. So bucket is basically a spending area. So if I wanted to, I can create one for personal. Apologies for the bit of a lag. There are a few things running on my computer that is drastically slowing it down. But let's say personal, and we give it a budget of 100. So meaning I have 100 to use for, going out, getting takeout, whatever the case is. Then you can add another one. Let's say, um, now personal was a bit vague, was not the best example, but let's say, okay, another one is, for example, I have a monthly allowance for APIs. Now it's, we give this also maybe like 80, you know? All right, cool. Now you have this bucket. Now, if you go to dashboard and, sorry, if you go to transactions and you want to log an expense, you can say for OpenRouter, API credit. Yeah. And then you say you filled up with 10, and then you can select your bucket, and that's it. Then you have your expense types, which is discretionary, which is, it is what it is, kind of expense. You have your mandatory, which would normally be like your rent and stuff like that. And then you have force majeure. I'll explain that one in a bit. Then you can have it auto deduct monthly. You can have it set to impulse purchase, add notes. Okay, then we log. Now, if we go back to buckets, you'll see, okay, cool, it deducted there, and it also deducted there, and these two line up. Here we go. Here's your money trend and everything. Okay, now let's go to goals. This is very simple. You say, if you want to, okay, house or apartment deposit. I'm not sure what it is in the US. So I'm just going to say, 500, or let's say 1,000. I think 1,000 is probably a bit more realistic. And you currently have 50 saved up, and I don't have a set date. Okay, here we go. Now, you get badges. This is also just a bit of a visual feedback to tell you, okay, good job. You're at 25, 50, 75%. So just to show you what it would look like, if we add 200, it just goes green. So I do want to add a bit more of a visual effect, just kind of give more of a visual feedback for the user. Now back to transactions, just to touch base on the force majeure. The reason why I added that is, let's say you are nearing your limit for personal spending, okay? And now you need to take out from your savings, which would in turn deduct points, and you get penalized 15 points if you take money from your savings. So, okay. And then you need to borrow a family member money, and it's really urgent. Like, this is you can't help it type of scenario. Then you would choose force majeure, and it deducts the money, but you do not get penalized. So that's all it is. And we go to subscriptions. Very basic. Okay, we say Netflix, entertainment. Now I do want to make the category a drop down. I keep saying I want to, but I keep forgetting. Cycle monthly, it's active, and we set the debit order day to the 1st. And let's make it red. I think, yeah, left. So, okay. Now with dates, you get your types of dates. You get simple, compound, and amortizing. And then you get monthly, is it monthly or annual compounding? Or if you set it on auto and you have it as a simple, it would normally be annual, but if it's set to none, it will be set to not applicable or not available, whichever. But if we do simple, we say auto, we say the principal is, this is normally your starting amount, so 75. I keep using this one as an example, but 75,000, and total owed, okay, let's leave that. Interest rate is 22%. Monthly payment, I pay 2,000. Terms, I don't have. Payments made, I've paid 50,000. And sorry. And then my start date, end date, we don't care about that. So now it's going to tell me, okay, you've paid. Okay, I did not add the total paid, but it tells you what the interest amount is based off of this, and it gives you the finalized amount of what you would be paying from start to finish if you pay at this rate. And yeah, that's basically it. So if we say add card, I want to fix this card. I want to make it a bit more narrow. So if we say college, provider, not applicable, total amount, we say is 130. Current balance is a minus 50. That's 80,000. Payment is 2,000 and interest rate is 22. Start date, sure. We put it at that. Save. There we go. Now, if we go to simulator, if you take, now this is a nice feature. It tells you exactly how long it'll take you to pay off from start to finish if you're paying at that rate. But you can now say, okay, well, if I increase that monthly payment by 500, it'll tell you, okay, well, you'll finish it 2 years sooner. You'll save 23,000, well, 24,000, all of that. Then we have the wait list. So the wait list is, it's similar to a wish list, but you kind of set a waiting timer for yourself. The reason why is people love impulse spending on large stuff. And this is basically a way for you to go and say, okay, let me just wait a day or 3, and then we see how I feel. So if we take shoes, why, and then you tell yourself, why do you want this? Because I can. Estimated costs, 700. Priority, it's very low. And how am I feeling? I'm feeling neutral. URL, blah, blah, blah. Add to waitlist. Then it kind of gives you a rating as well, like, can you afford this or should you wait? And then, yes, after this cooling off period ends, you go ahead and buy it. Savings, here you can just set your savings. I cannot apply this month because I have not set it. And then you have reports. So this is just basically a report of your entire month's spending. And yeah, well, actually last 14 days. So in settings, here you can set your currency. So I should actually be setting that to South African Rand. Our monthly start date, which is technically like the pay date, is on the 25th, and then monthly savings amount, we say 5,000, and the interest rate is 5.4, and that is yearly. Then you can enable, disable scoring, streak tracking, score toast notifications, which does not, does work. It not as it does on other websites where you get the little notification pop up and all of that. Then you get your automatic reflections. I will showcase the reflections now. And then there's the large expense threshold. So this is, let's say with personal, my personal bucket, I set to $100. And 50% of that is obviously $50. Now, if I spend in one go, spend over 50, it would be considered a large expense. Then there's your current score. You can reset your score and reset data. The only reason why I actually have the reset data is because for development purposes, there were a lot of cases where I wanted to reset the data, but I just, the only way I could do that was by creating a new database, and I didn't want to go through that the whole time. So if we know now, now it says save, and we go to savings, and we apply. Okay, cool. So now, technically, this is not correct because it should only happen after a month. So that is one thing I'll be fixing. And then if we go to, just want to see. Yeah. And then here it shows you how much you will have earned over a set amount of time. So in April, that is actually because we are in March, it's going to be 5,022, and then next month it's going to be 10, and so on until in a year I'll have 60,000, which is a lot. Now another issue, as you can see, it still says 100 Rand instead of, the converted value. So that is another thing I need to fix. But you can edit. So my monthly allocation would be then 2,000 update, and this would then be 1,000 update. And then when we go to transactions, I actually need to see if this will update. I think it's like $200 update. So if we now go to buckets, okay, it does update. Perfect. And then here you can see is your money trend, all of that. Now I want to show you the self-reflecting. So if we go to transactions log, so I'm going to say 1,000. Oh, sorry. There we go. And then we say open router, and we say that, and we say it's an impulse purchase, and okay, log. So there we go. I went over, so now I lost 15 points. And now, where is that now? Okay, it was supposed to pop up there. I will also have a look at that. But what it is, it's basically a way for you to reflect on impulse purchases and overspending. I don't want to say bad habits, but it is a bad habit, obviously, but I don't want to use that term. So yeah, that's this is CoinStack. And now I will be making a lot of changes. One of them being I'm currently in the works of the mobile application, because not everyone will have access to computer. Another thing I'm working on is I will be once I can secure the funding, I will be publishing this live to a server with a single, data source, so that it can sync across devices, and so that people don't have to run this locally on their device, because unfortunately that is the only way to test the application. But I would love to hear people's feedback and suggestions, or even if you want to contribute to the code, it will be available on the GitHub. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again.